in my group of friends, I am the skeptical one. I'm the one that says, no, that's not true. Nah, man, forget that. Nah, man, what are your sources? So I resonate with Thomas. I get the skepticism. And if you are skeptical like me and like Thomas, you are not alone in our culture today. A recent study by the American Bible Society, which was published in 2022, found that nearly 40% of Gen Z, which would include non-Christians and Christians, believes that Jesus was human and that he sinned. I don't need to quote a ton of numbers at you. You can probably just look around your own life and look around our own society and see that the belief that Jesus is God is waning. Probably you can see that in your friends, maybe among your family, certainly among your coworkers. If you look at the news, you can see this trend. Do you ever experience doubt about Jesus? Do you ever doubt Jesus' divinity? Maybe, like some of us, you have encountered Jesus again and again in life, and yet you still experience doubt. Well, take faith if you do, because you are not alone, and that is part of the human condition. Barna, which is a Christian survey group, took a survey in October 2022 and reported that 52% of U.S. adults have experienced religious doubts in the past few years. Similarly, exactly half of those who are Christian or who have some Christian background or experience say they have gone through a prolonged period of doubt at some point in their life. I resonate with these statistics because I am also a doubter. I'm like Thomas. In fact, when I look back over my life and reflect, I find that I have gone through a period of doubt every 4 to 5 years or so. When I was in high school, I went through the typical high school pattern of wondering, is this really true? Is all these crazy claims in the Bible really true? Can I really take these on as for my own belief and not just what my parents are telling me? In college, I was in Bible college studying the Bible and started to have all these questions about the Bible. Is this really true? Or is the Bible really reliable? And then again, I was in seminary still studying the Bible, and I thought, is Jesus the only way? Are all the other religions really false roads? So if you're doubting today, I want you to know that New Life is a safe place to ask questions about God. It's a safe place to raise your questions, to show your doubt, and I believe that you will find the answers you're looking for. We want to hear your questions here. We want to have these faith conversations. One thing you can do, if you're having some of these doubts or if you've experienced this before, is go to the Take 5 banner in the back after the service, and someone there will be happy to talk to you and direct you to some more resources. Let's continue. Verse 26. It says, "A week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them." Notice here these first 3 words, a week later. 1 week later, Thomas was in doubt for 1 week. Can you imagine what Thomas's week of doubting must have felt like? He probably felt a lot of fear. What if he really believed that Jesus rose from the dead? What if he really believed that Jesus was God? What does that mean for my life? How do I have to change the way that I'm living if that were true? He probably had fear if he didn't believe. If he didn't believe, then all of his other friends are believing. The thing that he's invested in for 3 years with Jesus might not be true. So what does that mean? Can you imagine the identity struggles that he must have been going through? Who am I? Which group do I identify with? He was probably experiencing quite a bit of confusion and fear. Many of you don't have to imagine these emotions and doubts because you are experiencing it right now. Perhaps you are experiencing a pain in life and wondering how God could allow such a thing. Perhaps you are questioning your sexuality and wondering how God could possibly call you to live a heterosexual lifestyle. Perhaps you have friends or family who are embracing LGBTQ+ lifestyles and doubting whether a God who calls people to live a heterosexual lifestyle can be real. Perhaps you are afraid of your doubts and afraid to investigate them for fear of what you might find. Personally, I remember what it's like to experience doubt, and I expect that I will go through a period of doubt again in the future if the pattern holds true. I remember the fear of the future, the fear of the questions, the fear of investigating for fear of what I might find one way or the other, the confusion about what is true, the questioning of identity, and even the anger at towards those around me. So it's important to note here what Thomas did in his doubting. Notice this. The text says, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Thomas kept meeting with the disciples. He kept assembling with them. He pursued God. He kept doing the religious things, right? He kept putting himself in a position where Jesus could encounter him. He was open to the truth. So if you are experiencing doubts this morning, I encourage you to do the same thing that Thomas did. Keep coming to church. Keep asking questions. Keep doing what God is telling you to do. Keep investigating. Go to the Take 5 banner. Talk to me afterwards. Talk to Pat afterwards. Talk to someone on staff afterwards. God will meet you as you seek him.